In today's video, I'm going to share with you 8 foods that you should avoid at restaurants if you have a weight loss goal, and what to eat instead. Before I tell you what those 8 things are, I want to remind you of the 3 things that are so important when it comes to eating out with a weight loss goal. Number 1, you always want to look for foods that are high in protein. Protein helps you build muscle, and it also keeps you fuller longer. The second thing is fiber. Fiber is so good for your gut health, and it also fills you up. You want to have a lot of fruits and vegetables, and mashed potatoes or refried beans don't count. The third thing is simply this: if you don't have a weight loss goal, eat out as much as you want. But if you do want to lose weight and you eat out often, you're just taking in so many calories and a lot of fat. If you've never worked at a restaurant, let me tell you, I have. And the amount of cream and butter they put in every single dish to make it super delicious is crazy. And that's why these restaurant meals really add up super quick. Also, the restaurant meals are often 2 to 3 times bigger than the meals that you would make yourself at home. An average restaurant dish is between 1,000 and 1,500 calories. That's crazy. And that's just one main dish without all the appetizers and desserts and drinks. Just to put things in perspective, a lot of women, in order to lose weight, need to be in a calorie deficit, and that deficit of course varies, but it could be anywhere between 1,500 to 1,800, sometimes 1,900 calories. And when you now think that one single restaurant meal can have between 1,000 to 1,500 calories, sometimes even more, then you see that there's really not much room for anything else if you eat out. And of course, you can eat out once in a while. I do it every single week, once every week myself too, but you just can't do it too often if you actually want to lose weight. So here are the 8 foods to avoid if you have a weight loss goal and what you could eat instead. Number 1. Bread baskets and chips. These common foods that they bring to you before the main meal even arrives are super calorie dense. A basket of chips with guacamole can actually give you between 800 to 1,200 calories, and it comes with about 100 grams of carbohydrates. One roll with some butter could give you anywhere between 250 to 350 calories, and about 30 grams of carbs too. And with both of these foods, the bread, the chips, you get almost no protein at all. And also, if you have some wine or a little cocktail while you're snacking on your chips and waiting for your main meal, you can easily add another couple of 100 calories. So in addition to those hundreds and hundreds of calories that you might be taking in even before your main meal arrives, when you start from carbs only, you're also causing a really big blood sugar spike, and alcohol only makes it more intense. We want to keep our blood sugar rises more moderate. They shouldn't be like this. And if we eat a lot of carbohydrates and also add alcohol to it, the spike will be like this. And this is really not something that we want if we have a weight loss goal, and in general if we want to be healthy. Always try to start your meals from something that has protein in it instead of going straight to those high carb snacks. So what to do instead? If you really like those breads and if you really like those chips, there are a couple of things that make things a little bit better so you don't cause quite as much damage. So the first thing is, of course, keeping your portions more moderate. You don't have to eat the whole basket of chips or even not half of it. You can maybe just have 3, 4, 5 and eat them mindfully and slowly. Now, obviously, you're still going to start from carbs, and that's not super good. So what you could do instead, if you really know that you want to have those things, you could have a little bit of protein at home before you go to the restaurant. You could have maybe a beef stick or a hard-boiled egg or a little protein drink, just to create a little buffer so that the blood sugar spike is not like that. Now, that said, when you go out to a restaurant, like I already mentioned, many foods are 1,500 calories, and now you eat something before that too, then that's gonna increase your calorie intake even more. So really think if you need to have those types of appetizers. If you do, just gotta be really moderate with them. The second food to avoid at restaurants is large pasta dishes. Just like breads and chips, pasta also is mainly carbohydrates. It may have some creamy sauce added to it, but as we talked before, you need your protein, and you're not gonna get a whole lot of protein from a pasta dish. Even if it is pasta with some meatballs, it's not gonna be a lot of protein. But protein is the most important macronutrient for you if your goal is to lose weight and build muscle. If you order a big pasta dish, let's say fettuccine alfredo, then you're going to get about 1,400 calories. You can get about 120 grams of carbohydrates, and if you're lucky, you may get like 20 grams of protein. And this is really not all that much protein for this amount of calories. These are the calories that a smaller woman might eat during a day, but it shouldn't be something that we take in one sitting. So what can you have instead? Well, these pasta dishes are super common in Italian restaurants, and similarly, noodle dishes are really common in Asian restaurants. But if you have a weight loss goal, then in these restaurants, you could order something that is more protein based. For example, you could have grilled fish with some vegetables, or grilled chicken with broccoli, shrimp skewers, or steak salad, or something like that, where the focus is on protein and then also fiber. That's your vegetables. You will get a lot more protein from it. It will help you with satiety, help you with muscle building and your weight loss. And this is way different from what you get from a big plate of creamy pasta. Food number 3 is pizza. Now this point is very similar to the last one. You barely get any protein, even if you have some meat on your pizza. With pizzas, you get a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of fat. Cheese is not protein, cheese is fat. You get just so little protein. Especially if your pizza is something like cheese pizza or margarita, where there's really no protein at all almost. Depending on the size, a whole cheese pizza can easily cost you anywhere between 1,800 to 2,500 calories. Even if you split it, you have just half of it, you're still taking in about 1,000 calories or more. So what can you do instead? If you go to a pizza restaurant, you can always order a salad. Well, most places, I guess, have a salad option with some protein. Choose that instead and ask for double protein, because what you usually get is this really small portion, and what we want to get is about 1 to 1.5 palm sizes of protein per meal. So try to get that with your salad. And if you still want that pizza too, in addition to salad, you can have it, but have it just a slice and focus on the foods that actually serve you, knowing what your goals are. So load up on that fiber and on that protein first, so you can make sure that what you get with your calories is actually helpful for you. And speaking of calories and protein, if you don't know how many calories and how much protein you should be eating for your goals, I have a free guide for you that teaches you exactly how to figure that out. Go to the link in the description of this video and find the calorie setup guide. Go ahead and get it now. The fourth food that is not a good idea if you have a weight loss goal is rice-based dishes. They are really, really common in Asian restaurants. There's fried rice, like big plates of fried rice, orange chicken with rice, teriyaki bowls, curries with rice. Curry is my favorite. Just like pasta, rice is also a carbohydrate source. You don't almost get any protein for it. Well, just a bit of protein. This big pile of rice fills you up temporarily, but gives you so many calories and carbohydrates. And that really doesn't align with your weight loss goal. I am not anti-carb at all. You can eat carbs, but it doesn't make sense to eat like a whole plate of carbs. This would be okay if you just did a really hard workout, or you just had an intense hike, or you're planning to hike the Grand Canyon tomorrow. Then go ahead and do it. Load your carbs. But most people, after they eat at the restaurant, they get in the car, they sit there, they go home, they sit there, they don't move. And these big plates of carbohydrates, such as rice dishes, they just get stored. And it's very hard. It's difficult, even impossible, to lose weight like that. What can you do instead? For the same amount of calories that you could get from a big rice plate, you could order something that is much higher in protein and will actually help you with your weight loss goal. This would be something where the protein is the main part of the dish and rice is more like a side, not the main part of the dish. For example, at a Japanese restaurant, you could order grilled salmon or sashimi with a side salad and just a little bit of rice. At a Thai restaurant, you could order steamed vegetables with any protein you like. Sure, these foods still come with fats too, but at least you're getting your protein too. I almost always eat my protein and vegetables first, and sometimes I don't even eat the rice at all. That's not how I eat at home, but I'm talking about when I'm eating at a restaurant, because like I've said, restaurant meals are just so calorically dense that oftentimes I just don't need that additional source of carbs, an additional source of calories. And I also keep my blood sugar much more stable by starting from protein, starting from vegetables. The food number 5, and that might surprise you, is salads. You might be surprised to hear that salads are not the best food if you have a weight loss goal, so let me explain this to you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a nice salad, especially if it has a good amount of protein with it. And if you don't soak this salad in all of this dressing stuff. Now, these dressings can literally be 300 calories. So now you turned your otherwise 400 calorie salad into a 700 calorie thing. And yes, that little cup of dressing that they give you can have 300 calories in it. That's why you should always ask your dressing on the side. And this is what I do too. So you can still have some dressing, but you're not going to pour the whole thing all over it. If you want to lose weight or maintain your current weight, you're just going to use a little bit, maybe a teaspoon or so, just a bit. You do not need to put the whole thing on your salad. It's also kind of gross when it's like a soup instead of a salad. The other thing that's important to understand about salads is that oftentimes the restaurant salads have a ton of high calorie toppings and actually very few vegetables and greens. Let's look at an example here. A Cobb salad, which I personally love. It can come with bacon and blue cheese and dressing and avocado and candied nuts and all of that stuff. All of it is so good. But at some restaurants, a Cobb salad can be 1,500 calories. So at this point, you might as well get a burger. So what can you do instead? Still eat your salads because you need your leafy greens, you need some vegetables, but make some changes. Always get your dressing on the side. Look for salads with more vegetables and fewer high-calorie toppings. And if the salad comes with 4 high-calorie add-ons, ask them to remove 2 of them. For example, if it has avocado and cheese and bacon and candied nuts, then I might just have the avocado and the bacon. No, I probably have avocado and cheese. But think about things like candied nuts. They're sugar-coated nuts. Nuts already are super high in fats and calories. Now we put sugar on them, and that's really high in calories. And these are the things that turn your innocent-looking salad into a 1,500 calorie food, and you're not losing weight if you do it often. The next food to stay away from is all fried foods. It's honestly ridiculous how many foods we fry. Fried pickles, fried mac and cheese, fried cheesecake. What are we doing here? Why can't we just steam or grill our vegetables? And why does any dessert ever need to be fried? Fried foods are not only super high in calories and fat, but oftentimes the oil that they're cooked in is not a very good quality and it's been repeatedly used probably day after day after day. And old rancid oils are not good for our health because they can increase inflammation and oxidative stress in your body. I can honestly say I never order fried foods. It's just not worth it for me. Calories are high, the oil taste is bad, and honestly, I always find myself thinking, why is this thing fried? Why do we need to cover up here? Does it really taste so bad without frying it? Okay, I might steal a sweet potato fry or 2 or 3 from my husband's plate, but for me personally, it's better to just not order fried foods. What to do instead? Well, that's not hard at all. Just don't order that stuff. You can choose grilled, baked, roasted, steamed food instead. Instead of fries on the side, why don't you order a side salad? Yes, it sometimes costs you $2 more to have a salad instead of that fries, but your health is worth it. The next food you should avoid is smoothies and shakes. These are not your typical restaurant foods, of course, but a lot of people grab them when they're on the go and thinking that they're making a really healthy choice. And it's not always the case. We tend to associate smoothies with health, especially if those smoothies are green, but they may not be that healthy at all. For example, a large green smoothie can easily give you between 500 and 700 calories and get this, 70 to 120 grams of sugar. You want to know how many tablespoons that is? It's between 6 to 10 tablespoons of sugar in your green smoothie that you thought is so healthy. So all you're getting is a ton of calories, ton of sugar, barely any protein, a massive spike in blood sugar followed by a massive crash. Okay, I know you might like smoothies, and sometimes I like them too, especially when it gets super hot here. So I do have my favorite. I get my Jamba Juice peanut butter mood a couple of times a year, but I get the smallest size and I always ask them to add a scoop of protein. Also watch out for foods like acai bowls or those fancy parfait type of nice bowls that have all these granola and honey and sugar and nut butters. They are so delicious. I don't argue with that at all, but also really high in calories. They sound healthy, but they can easily become as calorie-dense treat as an ice cream. What can you do instead? If you're on the go and you need something fast, get something that's high in protein. Go to a grocery store and buy a single piece of grilled chicken. You can also buy a couple of hard-boiled eggs, a little cup of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, maybe even a little protein shake, and you can also add an apple or a pear or something like that. That one cooked chicken breast can give you about a couple of hundred calories, and you get 35 grams of protein with it. A container of Greek yogurt might give you around 15 to 20 grams of protein and only about 100 calories. Compare that to that fancy green smoothie that might give you 600, 700 calories, 10 grams of protein, and 10 tablespoons of sugar. A chicken breast will keep you full for hours, while that smoothie just won't. So you really need to take care of your protein. If you want to get my cheat sheet with 12 high protein foods that you don't have to cook and that are ready and you can put them on table in less than 5 minutes, go ahead and get that guide. That too is in the description. And the last point about eating at restaurants is this. A lot of people order too much food in general, and that's unnecessary. To be honest, I don't think that anybody needs an appetizer, a drink, a main course, and dessert all at once, because that would probably be enough calories for 2 or 3 days for that person. But they're eating it in one sitting. So many people have lost the connection with fullness and satiety, and a lot of us celebrate with food and completely go overboard when there's something to celebrate. You have an anniversary dinner and you might be thinking, well, let's just celebrate. Let's go a little crazy with food here. But do we need to celebrate in a way that leaves us stuffed and uncomfortable and then complaining about our weight? Last February, right before Valentine's Day, we saw a restaurant advertising this Valentine's Day special they had. The deal was this: for $100 per couple, you get an appetizer, drink, a main course, and dessert for $100. And honestly, when I saw this, I just thought to myself that nobody needs to eat that much. And I just remember seeing this advertisement and thinking how normalized it has become to massively overeat during celebrations. By the time you get to your dessert, you're probably super full when you actually listen to yourself. And restaurant desserts that you're going to have on top of the food you already ate, those desserts are huge. I really love brownies. But you know what? A chocolate brownie with ice cream or cheesecake can easily cost you 1,000 to 1,500 calories. And after already eating a huge restaurant meal with all the appetizers, wines, and who knows what, just adding more calories doesn't make you feel good physically and definitely will not help you with your weight loss. What can you do instead? I totally understand that we want to go to restaurants and enjoy nice meals to celebrate something. I do it too. But why wouldn't we choose maybe 2 things that we really want to try? Maybe we want to split an appetizer and then have the main meal. Or we're gonna have the main meal and then we split the dessert. That's my favorite. Because again, the portions are so big. When you're choosing your appetizer, choose something that is higher in protein and lower fat and carbs. Good examples could be shrimp, chicken skewers, sashimi, beef satay, shrimp cocktail, something like that that has protein. But really the biggest thing is this: we need to calm down around food and stop acting like it's gonna go away, because most likely it will not. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to hit the like button, also hit the subscribe button, and share with others, because that will really help the channel to grow and more people will get help. Thanks so much, and make sure to check out the next video as well.